I've taken the plot and the title of this one from a Roald Dahl short story. It's called Lamb to the Slaughter. Blunt force trauma. Blood runs like water. Who would have thought a life cut short like a lamb to the slaughter? Janet stuck abuse from her husband for years and saw her home life through a veil made of tears. A fractured relationship cracked beyond repair, but a tether only takes so much before it tears. Bob spoke with his fists, refused to understand that brutalising women didn't make him a man. One day Janet lashed out with the first thing to hand, a frozen leg of lamb she was putting in the pan. Bob went down, hit his head upon the floor, stone cold, no pulse, and not breathing any more. Janet suffered at his hands, so felt no remorse, and so she went back to preparing the main course. Add a little rosemary, garlic star anise, then picked up the phone and called for the police. Someone's attacked my husband, I think that he's deceased, described the attacker, blue jeans and a fleece. Cue the CSI with the blue flashing lights, crime scene detectives dressed in black and white. Janet practiced her act, gave them the highlights. They conclude that a robber murdered Bob and took flight. Now Bob was an ex-copper, and Janet was familiar with some of the men in policemen's regalia. She met with their wives for weekly games of billiards. She was beyond reproach in the community a pillar. You must be hungry, she said to a sergeant, and dinner is ready. You must all be starving, so please take a break from searching in the garden and have some of this lamb that I bought at the market. The bobbies hesitated, but it was dinner time, and the smell of the roast from the oven was sublime, so they all took a break and they queued up in a line, and while they chewed the meat, they talked about the crime. There's only one question, said Chief Inspector Gretton, and that is to establish the type of murder weapon. A blunt metal instrument was brandished by the felon. A crowbar or a hammer is what sent Bob to heaven. They searched for a crowbar in the garden on the ground. They searched for a hammer, but no hammer could be found. A puzzle indeed, and mystery that confounds. Did the killer take it with him when he scalped southbound? They finished off the lamb between shifts under the lights. As he ate, an officer offered up his insight. I suspect that the implement is hiding in plain sight. The sergeant shrugged and he took another bite. Rosemary thyme glazed with wine or beer. Parsley, sage and onions, asparagus and spears. Roast for an hour till the juices run clear. How could murderer and weapon both completely disappear?